Live stream preparing. Setting up your meeting. And we are live.
Okay, good afternoon. Yes, it is the afternoon now. Everyone, welcome to the Environment Subcommittee. We have 3 bills on the agenda. We're going to go in this order. First bill will be House Bill 1467, then House Bill 757, and then House Bill 858. So Kristen, could you take up 1467? I know you sent out amendments, and we also have Ethan. Once again, we're joined by Ethan Hunt from Anne Arundel County. Can answer any particular questions along with our Anne Arundel delegates on the subcommittee. Yeah, so Kristen, if you could explain 1467 as with the amendments.
Sure. And so, yeah, this bill, House Bill 1467 relates to special taxing districts that are set up for erosion prevention projects, erosion control projects. And it's establishing that an existing requirement that at least 75% of real property owners in a special taxing district established to finance erosion control projects sign a petition requesting construction of a project before the district council may construct it. It does not apply to the development and completion of plans and specifications for the construction of a project, the permitting activities associated with the project, or the preparation of a cost estimate for the project. And I'll bring up the first set of amendments. That there's a reprint we have that's making this an Anne Arundel County, apply only in Anne Arundel County.
Okay. Okay, Delegate
And it's
Lehman.
also making the bill an emergency measure. And I don't know if you want me to bring up the other amendments or start here.
Sure. Sure. So the reprint has one set of amendments and then there's another set.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you do that and then we'll take questions.
I don't know which one there's. Okay. So this is specifying that an entity that's administering a shore erosion control district may use tax funds for the maintenance, repair, or reconstruction of an existing shore erosion control project. And that'd be subject to a public hearing requirement.
Okay. And Kristen, for both sets of amendments, we have a letter from the delegation.
That's correct. And then there is also a sponsor amendment. The bill came in as a sponsor of Delegates Howard and Hornberger, but I guess with them making it apply to local, to Anne Arundel County, it's striking Delegate Hornberger as a sponsor of the bill.
I see. Okay. All right, Delegate Lehman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to reiterate what you just said. The Anne Arundel House delegation took up this bill this morning. We approved it with amendments, including making it a local bill rather than a statewide bill and removing Delegate Hornberger's name. So we did support it unanimously. And I guess you're in receipt of that documentation, Kristen?
Yes.
Okay, that's it. And I'm willing to move the bill as amended.
Second.
Great. Okay. Delegate Baylor, is there anything, or you just wanted to move it? Okay.
I was going to move it. I second Delegate Lehman's motion.
Kristen, do we technically need to move the amendments first?
Yeah, you want to move the amendments, sorry.
Okay.
Move the amendments.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
This is both sets of amendments,
Yes, that's right.
and the delegation is comfortable with it. So
Correct. We've received their letter this morning. We have a letter for all of the amendments.
all right.
Okay. Great. Are those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
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 Okay, bill as amended. Is there a motion?
Move the bill as amended, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the bill as amended, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, thank you. Bill passes as amended. Thank you. Okay, let's move to House Bill 757.
Thank you.
And I know Kristen, we have amendments for this as well, right? That's right, you sent out a reprint.
Yes, I'll bring that up.
And is this conformed to the way it passed the Senate?
So yes, it's passed second reading with amendments in the Senate. So it's
Okay.
so the bill is striking the provisions that would have increased the oil transfer fee. And then it updates the language where I'll get to that part. Hold on. So it's authorizing the secretary to use up to 20% of program funds to support research centers. And that would be including the University of Maryland Institute for Health Computing.
Right, for cancers related to cancer screening.
This is for, cancer screening.
Right. So I guess,
yeah.
so Kristen, so now it's, with respect to funding, it's now the governor may include at least $3 million. And you're saying the requirement that you use funding from the oil transfer fee is taken out.
That's out of the bill, correct?
Okay. Questions on Delegate Ruth?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I don't think this can really be answered, but it's more just confusing to me that we say the governor may, but then it has an at least. Like, what if the governor wanted to transfer half of that? It seems like it cuts off any opportunity for a smaller amount.
Kristen, what's how, I mean, it's a good question. What's your read of that with this language?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I think it's a fair point.
And I don't want to hold the bill up. I just, it just confused me a little bit.
Could we change it to up to 3 million?
Well, we could, but then we'd, Kristen, that you say this is the version that came out of the Senate and it's on second reader.
Yeah, this is a version, and then up to is also establishing a cap. So
yeah.
So I don't know what the impact of when the discretionary amount is specified in this way. I mean, I don't have that answer.
Okay, Delegate Lehman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just curious. I'm supportive of the bill, but are we secondary on this bill or are we primary?
We're a primary and it's jointly assigned with HGO.
Why are we primary? I'm just curious. I'm
Well,
surprised.
it came to us because initially it was going to put that increase on the oil transfer fee. That's the Department of Environment. They rely on that for their program funding for their oil pollution control program.
Okay, got it. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Delegate Ruth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to clarify that I don't think we should amend the Senate bill because I worry that it would, slow this down, and this is an important bill. But I had just raised the question because I wasn't sure.
Okay, sure. No, fair question. Delegate Otto, I'm not encouraging an amendment, but I just wanted to circle back with you. Did you want to propose an amendment, or are you good with this language as is?
Well, I don't want to slow it up either, but it is sort of strange wording.
Yeah, no, that's true. Delegate Baylor?
I was going to make a motion. Is that okay?
Sure.
I move the amendments.
Second.
All those in favor of the amendments?
Yes, but the startup costs will be paid back.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
Okay, all those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The bill as amended.
Move the bill as amended, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the bill as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, bill passes as amended. And we'll want to welcome the vice chair to the subcommittee. Thank you for joining. Okay, so now HB 858. Kristen, you sent out a reprint with the amendments. So I guess you could walk us through the bill as amended, and like we did yesterday, let's hold questions until the end. So with that, Kristen, could you bring up the reprint?
I will, yes. Wait. Hold on a second. I'm having a hard time
Sure.
finding this one. I have it on my screen. Let's see. Let's try that again. Oh, there it is. So this bill, it's establishing the mattress stewardship program in the Department of the Environment. And so there's definitions that are relevant to the program are in the bill. The amendments are taking out this reference, which I think in a redraft just became obsolete. This term is not used in the bill
That's his
elsewhere.
core.
Yes. So this still definitions. This is establishing the responsibilities of the Office of Recycling to review and approve plans and annual reports, including a mattress stewardship assessment that's submitted under the mattress stewardship program. And provide to local communities the most up-to-date information on local and national programs for recycling of mattresses. And here and elsewhere in the bill, references to the reuse of mattresses is taken out.
Say that again, Kristen, I'm sorry.
So in line
amendments about
23 and
reuse,
24, you could see, yes, so there's references in the bill as introduced to the reuse of mattresses, and the amendments are taking out those references. So it just applies to the recycling of mattresses, not the reuse.
Right.
Provide to local communities for considerations, examples of mattress recycling programs that create jobs for unemployed individuals, homeless individuals, disadvantaged youth, and individuals with disabilities. Individuals who are incarcerated and other disadvantaged individuals. So this updates a report that the Office of Recycling is to submit every 2 years. And so beginning in 2026 and every 2 years thereafter, that report would be updated with progress made in the state in diverting mattresses from disposal in landfills and incinerators. This is just establishing that the stewardship plan and reporting review fees that are collected under the program would be deposited into the State Recycling Trust Fund. And that would be to cover the actual costs of the mattress stewardship program plan review and annual report review under the program. This section 9-1715 establishes mattress disposal restrictions. So generally a person may not dispose of a mattress in a landfill beginning January 1st, 2031, unless the mattress is deeply contaminated and poses a risk to personnel, new products or equipment. And beginning January 1st, 2031, a person may not dispose of a mattress in an incinerator. And that's also subject to if, unless it's deeply contaminated. So this is establishing, it's setting up the framework here for the mattress stewardship program. Relevant definitions to that program are included in this part.
Right, defines producer, the representative organization, retailer, et cetera.
So 9-1738 is expressing intent for immunity for producers, participating producers, and the representative organization.
Does the buyer pay more at closing than the seller?
Yeah, I think someone needs to be on mute. I'm
Jeff,
not sure.
Jeff, I think
Oh, I'm
that's you.
sorry. Sorry.
Oh, so you were saying that's the antitrust exemption language?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So this program, beginning July 1st, 2027, producers of mattresses that are sold at retail in the state or the representative organization must submit a plan for the establishment of a mattress stewardship program to MDE for approval. And then the contents of the plan are set out. So that would include identifying the materials, entities, and responsible parties covered in the plan, describing the financing method for the plan. There's a number of requirements here that are laid out. You want me to read the list or just keep scrolling through?
I would say keep scrolling. Yeah, and Delegate Otto and Lane will get you after we've gone through the bill.
Strikes references to program profitability. I think there's another location in the bill where that is also taken out. I don't think it's intended to be a profitable program.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan must minimize public sector involvement and financial responsibility for the management of mattress disposal. Provide for convenient and available collection. So they would authorize or allow a mattress waste management entity to offer a premium collection service under the program, charge for the additional cost of that premium collection service, and carry out a statewide assessment of needs and costs.
And I'm sorry, Kristen, a mattress waste management entity, that's a collection site. Is that right?
I don't think it's defined.
All right, well.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, again, in keeping with my rule of taking questions at the end, I'll wait until the end to bring that up again. So, okay.
So the plan must establish a uniform mattress stewardship assessment. And language is added that the assessment may be tiered based on mattress weight, construction size, type, recyclability, retail price, or any other factor the producer or representative organization determines will distribute the assessment more fairly. The plan must establish certain performance goals, and language is being added that the performance goal relating to renovation rates would be set in coordination with the renovators, and to the extent practicable, the renovation rates of discarded mattresses. For the number of illegally dumped mattresses and the share of dumped mattresses as a percentage, that would also be set in coordination with local jurisdictions and to the extent practicable. The total and the bill specifies that the total amount of the mattress stewardship assessment may not exceed the cost of implementing the mattress stewardship program. However, there's language being added that would say the total amount of the mattress stewardship assessment may include a financial reserve sufficient to operate the program over a multi-year period. The assessment would be evaluated by an independent financial auditor. Again, language is being stricken from the bill relating to program profitability. Oops, here. So plans would be reevaluated by MDE every 5 years. Subsection C sets out the responsibility of MDE in reviewing the mattress stewardship program plan and the work product of the independent financial auditor. The producer or representative organization submitting the plan for approval pays a plan review fee to the department that would be set to cover the department's cost of review. This is just detailing the requirements for the department's plan review. The representative organization would be implementing the mattress stewardship program within a year after the plan's approval by the department. And then beginning 1 year after a plan is approved, a producer or retailer may not sell at mattresses unless the producer of the brand or representative organization of which the producer is a member is implementing an approved mattress stewardship program. And the assessment, a producer must add the mattress stewardship assessment to the cost of all mattresses sold to retailers and distributed in the state. And then the retailer would be adding the assessment to the purchase price of all mattresses sold in the state, and it'd be displayed as a line item on the receipt for the added cost. The producers or representative organization must provide consumers with educational materials. This is a post-consumer mattress collection site. Identifying the plan may not charge an additional fee for the disposal of mattresses when mattresses are offered for disposal to recycling under an approved stewardship program. The stewardship organization or the representative organization must submit to the department and publish online a report that details with details on the mattress stewardship program. And so the producers that are or a representative organization that is submitting that report would have to pay a report review fee to MDE. And then MDE has responsibilities listed here with relating to their review of that annual report. So say that's taken out the, let me see. So it looks like the language regarding the advisory board is being stricken. There's penalties. And then the department must adopt regulations to the department must adopt regulations to enforce the program. Okay, and so then the language that was taken out, the Mattress Stewards Advisory Board, is being restated here in the amendment. I'm just presuming there's going to be a different effective date. I have been reading all this fast, so yeah. So it sets out the responsibilities of the advisory board. Oh, that was just a
Let's see,
really,
section 3. Oh, I see. So there's, all right, an existing contract can't continue unless it's modified to conform to the requirements of the bill. And looks like a sunset of 5 years, June 2030.
oh, yeah, that's for, I believe for the advisory board. Let's see, that's
The
subject
advisory
to,
board, okay,
the advisory board is subject to that termination.
but not the program overall. Okay.
No. Yeah, sorry,
All
I'm just
right.
reading this too.
No problem. All right. Let's go to questions. Delgado.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let's go back to the start. We talked about contamination. What determines the contamination? What are we talking about? Bed bugs or things? That's why we can't resell a mattress now.
Yeah,
Or
I
is
guess
it,
it's determined by the criteria for contamination. Kristen, is it as determined by MDE?
Yes, I'm just getting to that part to bring it back up, but that's the language in the bill. It says as determined by MDE.
And most of that is incineration is the best way to get rid of it, not putting it in a landfill. That's concerns.
What page are you on, Kristen, there?
I'm sorry, that would be page 9. So that they would be able to dispose of it in an incinerator if the mattress was deeply contaminated, or the mattress cannot be renovated, no parts of the mattress can be recycled, and the mattress poses a risk to personnel, new products, or equipment, and that would be as determined by MDE.
All right, the fees. There's fees referenced. And that's going to this third party 501c3 organization or something. How do we determine these fees? What's it going to cost?
Kristen, can you go to the part of the bill that talks about the assessment?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to. I just took it off the screen so I could find it quicker. Sorry.
And is that the producer setting up that program? And I assume the producer would be like CERTA or
Yeah, I mean, the representative organization is defined as a nonprofit organization created by producers to implement the mattress stewardship program. So yeah, I guess CERTA, others are, are the producers, the manufacturers of mattresses. Okay, so there's the language about the
So the representative organization, that's part of their plan would include what that fee would be. I'm not sure if we have what is the fee is in other states. I'm not sure what
Yeah, is there anyone on the call who knows about what so I know this type of mattress recycling exists in a number of different states. Anyone know what it is roughly? Is there anyone on the call? Kitty? Kitty,
Yeah.
okay.
Hi. Yeah, I'm lower my hand first. I'm pulling it up right now. I wanted to have it ready for the meeting. Just give me one moment. I believe they're and ISPA can also provide comment on this. And also just to note for the record, I'm Kitty McElroy here as president of Maryland Recycling Network. The fees range in California, it's $10.50 a unit. Connecticut, it's $11.75 a unit. Rhode Island, $20.50 a unit, and then Oregon, it's $22.50 a unit. So
Is a twin bed or a full size or a queen bed or king bed?
So I believe, and again, ISPA could provide comment as well. I believe they're on the call. I believe this is just a standard unit fee in those states. In this bill, however, there is language that's been added in to have the fee be tiered if needed, so that you're not necessarily paying that same unit fee for every single unit, like a king size versus a twin, just to further provide some equity into the pricing. So, and I did want to note the last two programs, the higher fees, I believe that those cover private curbside collection from private property. So like a residence, for example, or like a hotel or, so, you know, they do sound high, but if you think about, you know, $20 for somebody to come pick up a mattress for you, that's not all that terrible. So I did want to note that.
Are you talking about the consumer price?
Yes.
We had two fees here. I was asking about the producer and what they're paying to set up this program. And then we also had the consumer's cost added on that was indicated as that would cost a fortune for the computer programmer to put that on the receipt.
I'll let ISPA handle the producer cost question because that's not something I would know.
Right.
Good afternoon,
Grant?
good afternoon, delegates. My name is Grant Johnson. I'm with the International Sleep Products Association, which is the trade association for mattress producers. To clarify Kitty's points, and thank you, Kitty, for bringing up those fees. In California and in Connecticut, the prices actually had to go up to about $16 a mattress. Due to inflation increasing costs in order to keep the program sustainable. So it ranges from $22.50 in Oregon to $16 in California and Connecticut. And the reasons for that variation is state-based differences, different collection networks, and different requirements in the law that result in higher costs. And Kitty,
so is this what would be reflected on the receipt to the consumer when he buys it? That's what he's paying?
That is
correct.
Are we
talking about the person that made the mattress or the entity that made the mattress is paying?
That cost is for the consumer at the point of sale. The producers are responsible for setting up and organizing the system. And it has been our experience at ISPA through a subsidiary known as Mattress Recycling Council. That's where that setup cost comes from. They have to be able to fund the program before it even has any revenue. And so that usually results in a series of loans in order to get the program up and running. And then that point of sale fee keeps the program sustainable.
Okay.
Okay, you good, Delegate Otto?
What's the program cost for the department here? That's going to be included in that cost too. You said you're going to pay for all their inspections and things.
Yes, the program would pay the department for their costs associated with oversight. In our experience, a state the size of Maryland may have 1 to maybe 2 full-time employees as the total oversight. However, I'm
200,000, they need a vehicle and things, so yeah, all right. Good physical note. I don't know. What are we trying to save here? How many mattresses are sold in Maryland a year?
If I recall correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Maryland has about 5 million residents.
6.5.
Excuse me, I apologize. 6.5. There are typically about 10 to 15% of the population buys a new mattress every year. So that's 600,000 or 650,000, excuse me. And roughly 50% of those result in a discard. So you're talking about 325,000 mattresses a year.
And you're going to collect $20 a mattress.
Depending on, we need to do a needs assessment. We will work through that with the plan that must be approved by the department. But it's I would presume it's somewhere between that $16 to $22.
So what are we saving with this? Nobody gets rid of their mattress unless they're moving or selling, or they can't, because they can't sell the mattress. We don't allow that.
Sure. Well, at present time, most mattresses, well, in our experience, most mattresses are landfilled, which takes up a significant amount of space and reduces the longevity of those landfills. Moreover, those down markets from mattress recycled materials create jobs. It's green jobs and sustainable jobs. And so you get kind of a both ends side of things. And we had a rough estimate in Connecticut that the program actually saved local municipalities about $3.5 million a year in associated costs with from having to handle those bulky items.
But the consumer had already paid the $20 a mattress. All right, thank you.
Okay. Delegate Lehman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I will be brief. First of all, I'm very supportive of this legislation. I know Delegate Hill has been working it for several years. It strikes me as the framework being pretty similar to Vice Chair Boyce's paint stewardship law. But I wanted to return to the issue of contaminated mattresses. I was going to ask who makes the determination, but Delegate Otto got at that question. It's MDE, which surprised me a little bit. But what I want to understand is that, once that determination is made, I know there's language in here saying in that case, if it's too contaminated to be recycled, then it may be landfilled. So is it the responsibility then, if the mattress is determined to be contaminated, that then the consumer has to come back and he or she is responsible for getting it to a landfill and then paying the fee at the landfill? Or how does it end up in the landfill? Is that something the stewardship organization handles, or is it the consumer? How would that? Does
Grant or Kitty, can
anybody
you
have a sense of how that would play out?
Right. So great question. Thank you so much, Delegate. I can speak to what local programs are already doing and how they handle the contaminated mattresses under mattress recycling programs. So when the public, and this is just regarding drop off of mattresses at public collection sites, we don't have, as far as I know, any sort of curbside collection for mattress recycling. So I can't speak to what would happen, for example, if a resident would put out a contaminated mattress curbside. I think that ISPA hopefully could speak to that. So at a public collection site, if you're dropping off your mattress, you no longer have to pay that tip fee in many jurisdictions that have that. Even if it's contaminated, the local jurisdiction site would take it, and then they would determine, within their solid waste operations, whether that would be going into a landfill or for incineration at a waste energy facility, depending on the contracts that they have.
But
I hope it-
would the consumer be the one if they, because I guess what's hard for me to envision is if the mattress is taken, not a curbside situation, but if a mattress is taken by someone to a collection site, that first of all, whether there would always be someone right on site to take a look at it and say, no, you know what, this cannot be recycled, it's too contaminated. If that's the case, I'm wondering in both scenarios, whether right on the spot the consumer is told that, or if it's determined later. Maybe it's not a staff site, or staff only come by once or twice a day, and there's already a mattress that's been left there and it's contaminated. Then what comes next? Somehow the consumer is tracked down and told, we can't take this mattress now, you must go take it to the landfill. That's the sort of the mechanics of that is what I'm trying to understand.
I'll just briefly answer if that's okay, and then I'll
Yeah,
put
and
this.
Grant, if you
Yeah,
wanted
and I can
to-
get the follow-up later as well, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the way I would understand it is no consumer would have to come back and pick up a mattress that they left. That arrangement, that operation would be dealt with by the management entity. So whether that's an actual mattress retailer where you're dropping the mattress off, a public collection site where you're dropping off a mattress, that would be handled by the people on site, whether it's manned or not, whether or not they see it at point of drop off, where they have to deal with it later on. My understanding is most sites are going to be manning and inspecting end-of-life mattresses when they're dropped off, but in the case that they aren't, I don't believe any consumer, any resident would be required to come back, or even any commercial entity would be required to come back and do a pickup. So I'll let
Great,
ISPA.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Ruth? I think Delegate Ruth, you're still on? Oh, okay.
Sorry, I my computer was funky. I couldn't get the button.
No problem.
Yeah, sorry, I'll be quick. I just really wanted to say I really like this bill, and I know the sponsor has been working on this for a long time, but I really feel like this year it's really landed in a good place and really well thought out.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Morgan.
Thank you. I got a couple weird questions for living in a very rural area. A local jurisdiction site, by definition, is that something the county has to provide? Katie, can you help me with that?
Yeah, sure. So this bill has a disposal ban, obviously, with the exception of the contaminated mattresses. So any local collection site that's public sector, local government, they're going to be receiving mattresses no matter what. Mattresses come in every day at these facilities, so that's not going to stop. And yes, so under the law, if it were to pass and be enacted, they would have to manage those mattresses and divert them to a recycling stream. So contract with a mattress recycler. Any contaminated mattresses, they could continue on with how they're managing them right now in their disposal streams. Does that help?
Well, a little bit. So if I use St. Mary's as an example, we have one dump central to the county. And I know it doesn't have anything covered. It's wide open space. When you bring big bulk things in, it gets put into a big hauler, it gets hauled away and things like that. And as far as I know, that in town, there's only, I think there may be 3, I use word mattress discounter stores in town. Are the people who are buying a mattress, or excuse me, is the mattress discounter store responsible for taking in the used mattress on the premise that the person who buys a new mattress is going to bring their old one to them?
I can let Grant answer this. I don't believe they're required. I believe a lot of mattress retailers accept end-of-life mattresses under the programs in the other states. However, I'm not an expert on that.
Okay.
Grant, can you weigh in?
Yes, Delegate Morgan, thank you for the question. And if I may, just at the top of this, because it's been mentioned, we really appreciate the work that Delegate Hill has done on this bill over the course of the last several years, and including this year. So I just wanted to make note of that. But to your question, mattress retailers are not required to take back the mattresses, but they may act as a collection site. The program will then send a shipping container to their location, and that's a covered, environment protected location for the mattress, for those discarded mattresses to be stored. When it is full, they can call us. We will organize a transportation of that container to a recycler, who then we pay for the recycling of that unit. And that includes collection sites are also voluntary and through largely the same system. If they're happy with their existing collection network, that's fine. If they want our resources in order to create that transportation network, have those shipping containers, then we are happy to sign them up and be a part of the program.
Well, I just don't think, if I use St. Mary's, for example, there's any place that recycles mattresses except they throw them into the landfill. So I'm trying, some of these in the bill, I expressed great support for what Delegate Hill has done so far. I'm trying to see, how do we make it citizen friendly and easy to do versus, like, if somebody, they're going to come down, I live on a very rural road, and there'll be a time I come out in the morning, I walk the dog, and the next night I walk the dog, and somebody's come down the street, just dump the mattress on the side of the road, and I got to call the town. The town's got to come out from Public Works. They got to pick the thing up, and then they take it to the dump to get rid of it. I laud the idea. I'm trying to think how you get the citizen to buy into the program.
Sure. So what we've found is by alleviating the concern of having to pay that dumping fee or at a landfill or at a recycling site, decreases the interest in illegal dumping. But on top of that, we have found that retailers will often, if you have a new mattress delivered to your house, they will often take it back. They'll take the plastic.
Agree completely. However, when I go to the mattress discounter where I bring my pickup truck, I pull up to the back, I get my mattress, I drive away, and do I want to bring my old mattress back to mattress discounters and hope they have someplace to store it as part of the recycling, or do I take it to the landfill and dump it? I'm just trying to figure the mechanics out, please.
Sure. So it is situationally dependent, and I apologize for laughing just because it can get complicated.
Yeah.
But when you buy your mattress, you are the retailer is required to give you information about the program, and that should include where those sites are that are collecting mattresses. So you don't have to hope that retailer is participating. It's also online, and so this information should be accessible, and that way you have more certainty about how the program is working and where it is available to you.
Okay, thank you.
That help? Okay. Committee Vice Chair. What's that? Yeah, you're good. Okay. Delegate Boyce.
Other groups.
Thank you. I'm on 2 calls here. So I'm excited about this bill. We've talked about it, and I'm excited that it's going to be moving today. To Delegate Morgan's point, I think that has been one of the crux and why this bill hasn't moved in the past, because I think the thought is that if I buy a mattress and then it is delivered, then it is assumed, if this is enacted and I have I'm paying this fee, that essentially when someone comes to my house to deliver the bed, they would be taking the old bed and then taking them to a site. And I know that's been a crux in why this does move, because to the point, it needs to be is as accessible as possible. And I guess the question is, and then I will remove myself from this conversation because it's Mr. Chair, is that sites are not required, or mattress facilities aren't required to be a drop-off site or a collection site for the program. They can be, it's an option for them. And I guess I wonder why they aren't mandatory, just like it was in the paint program. You couldn't sell paint unless you had this fee and also set up these drop-off facilities. So those places were required to take the paint. And so I think I love this bill. I can't wait for it to happen. The thing we see every day when I'm even driving here from Baltimore on 97, I see a mattress. Every day I see a mattress somewhere, and it's not just in one place, it's all over. And so I think how can we make it so that there has to be a give and a take? I'm buying a new mattress, you're taking my old mattress, because that's what's really going to cut it down. And I'll shut up, Mr. Chair. Sorry.
Okay, no, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Jeff Tosi from MES, can you help on this, on the Vice Chair's question?
I was really gonna help on Delegate Morgan's question. I might not be able to answer Delegate Boyce's question, so if you want me to hold off, I will.
Yeah, why don't you hold off? Is there Grant or Kitty or anyone else can answer the Vice Chair's question?
Sure. The reason why it's not universal retailer mandatory participation as a collection site, that is because mattresses by their nature are large and bulky, and there may not be a suitable and safe location to place a shipping container near the premises. As a result, it may not just, it's not always practical.
But could they not collect it and drop it off at a site? Could the exchange still happen, but they drop it off at a site? They don't, even if they weren't the site, there's a site that they can drop it off. I think, because the point is we don't want to see more mattresses on the side of the road.
Absolutely. So I guess to clarify, are you thinking of when a mattress is delivered to the home, or is this at a retail site?
For what it's worth, there's, I think,
When it's delivered.
When it's delivered to your home. So that is a possibility. In fact, I believe that's included in the law in California, but it's an accessibility versus cost issue. The retailers may be concerned about that separation cost and the additional transport cost. That would be the pushback, but I just wanted to give you a fair answer on that.
Okay, Vice Chair, any follow-up questions you have? Okay. All right, thank you. Jeff, you have something you can add to the answer to Delegate Morgan's question.
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me.
Yes.
We manage Midshore recycling and waste collection facility. We divert all of the mattresses at Midshore, and just speaking to Delegate Morgan's question about how mechanically the recycling works, there are third-party entities that will take the mattresses for a fee, and we deliver them by container load essentially. So they're not taking them individually, but when we fill a container, they'll take it. They break the mattresses down to their components between fibers and metals and wood, and then they recycle those components. So as long as they're delivered to the landfill, then there is a process by which that happens. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew how that worked.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Morgan, do you have a follow-up on this?
Yeah, I was rude. I went on the phone and called 2 mattress stores in St. Mary's County.
No, that was fast.
So I got to get smart real fast. So they said to me, if you have the mattress, if we deliver the mattress, we pick it up. I get that part. I said, however, if Joe comes with a pickup truck and he wants to take the mattress away with him and not have to pay for the delivery fee, will you accept and hold old mattresses until your recycler can come by and get them? And both of them said we do not. So that's why we're going to figure out how this I said with Jeff, the real mechanics of a great bill becomes, the devil's in the details. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Otto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I look forward to seeing the debate on this, 20% tax on mattresses and telling people what they got to do with things, and it's still mattresses going to be on the side of the road. That's my perspective. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Delegate. Okay. I have a question. And maybe this is again for Grant or Kitty, but this is on page 15 at the bottom, where it talks about the reserve. It says the total amount of the mattress stewardship assessment may include a financial reserve sufficient to operate the program over a multi-year period. And to me, that's a little bit vague. I mean, I think of a financial reserve, I think of like a 10% buffer to handle unanticipated costs, but the language is sufficient to operate the program over a multi-year period. Can someone clarify that for me?
Sure, I would be happy to. So to use this as an example is COVID. Obviously, that was a multi-year event. It significantly disrupted our network for a time, and as a result, there was a backlog. There were additional costs, and so over time, we've seen that a financial reserve to account for disruptions or unexpected costs is needed to sufficiently run the program. Otherwise, you run into a program that is insolvent. And all of our existing programs do have a reserve in order to prepare for any financial headwinds.
Can you say about how much? I mean, I imagine it does vary, but how big is the reserve compared to the annual operating cost? I mean, obviously, let's hope COVID was a once in 100-year event. So otherwise, what type of reserve? What's the scale of the reserve?
Sure, and I certainly hope you're right. The reserve, and again, this varies from state to state depending on the current state of play. Varies anywhere from about 6 months to 9 months of operating expenses.
Okay. All right, that gives me a good sense. Okay. Thank you. Delegate Lehman.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move the amendments favorable.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, any further questions about the amendments? All right, all those in favor of the amendments, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the bill as amended.
Move the bill as amended.
Second.
Okay, any further questions about the bill as amended? All right, all those in favor of the bill as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one's opposed? Okay, it's unanimous then. Okay, well, thank you. I think, Kristen, we're done with our agenda. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We made it
Thank you.
just over an hour. Not bad at all. So,
Mr. Chair, what time is our voting session? I forget.
what's that?
I heard
Say
Todd
that-
say,
It's after the floor session.
Yeah,
no.
that's
Oh,
right.
it's after the floor session. Okay, thank you.
That's correct. Okay. All right, everyone. See you soon. Thank you to the, of course, after crossover, I'm sure we'll be reconvening, but thanks for everyone's, diligent work over the past couple of months.
We made it back just in time from HRP to say goodbye.
Okay. All right. Just in the nick of time, right? I'm sure you've heard that before, right?
Indeed.
Okay. All right. Have a good afternoon.